Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, settle down now. We will now proceed to the next group, and today we will be discussing about the model of language policy by Spolsky. But before I'm going to discuss this model, let me give you a brief description about the proponent, which is Dr. Bernard Spolsky. So, Dr. Bernard Spolsky was a professor emeritus in the Department of English, Literature, and Linguistics at Bar Ilan University. And he made this model, which is the language policy that has three components, which is the language practices, the language beliefs, and the language management. So, when we say language policy, as you can see here in the monitor, language policy refers to the rules, regulations, ideas that became a basis in speaking what particular language will be used in a certain group or community. So just like diba, sa Philippines, we have our national language, which is the Filipino. So before the authorities changed the national language, diba sa una, our national language was Filipino. Then it was converted into Filipino. So there are bases which is the language policy nga take consideration sa mga authorities na control sa pag-change ani. So when we say language policy, so ngayon these are rules, regulations, and ideas. So ang pag-change DI or pag-select sa usa ka language sa particular na area or sa country baka ka, dili din sa basta-basta ka i-diretso rin yung change. Dapat dahil na kayo sundod na rules kung o pa na like common pa na sa mga gamit sa mga tao, nga na. So let's dig deeper about the first component of the language policy, which is the language practices. So when we say language practices, language practices is the habitual pattern of selecting among the varieties that make up its linguistic repertoire. So, when we say language practices, from the word practices itself, it refers to the habitual or the natural process, the natural language that people in a specific area use. So, for example, sa ato atin sa Visayas, kaya diba, ang native language na kay Cebuano man dyan. Then, kung ato sa in a larger scope sa ato sa Philippines, ang atong one is Filipino. So, sa language practices, nadili ang makita, ang kanina bitaw, lain-lain bitaw accent, kay sa given sa definition, ang language practices mostly naka-make up sa linguistic repertoire. And when we say linguistic repertoire or the language repertoire, it is a set of skills and knowledge a person has of one or more languages as well as other varieties. So, from the word repertoire, nagkatay variant bitaw. Like for example, sa Cebuano or sa Cebuano Bisaya, may accent bitaw, especially if lahi bitaw nga kanang lahi nga tao ang speak up ito sa language ko like sa Gikanan, Gana. So mga critics sa upuan kanang language repertoire. So, next.
To continue our report, I'm going to discuss about the language beliefs. So language beliefs refers to the consensus of the speech community on the body attributed to different languages that come in contact with the community, either internal or external. Beliefs about language refer to the attitudes, perceptions, and conclusions that individuals hold regarding language and linguistics. These beliefs can vary widely among different individuals, communities, and culture. For example, mas na-question na what language do you value the most and why? Like sa ako, like ako, iba yung mga language kaya ako nung Bisaya language kay syempre, mga kuantay nga niya, kita niya sa mga parang na ako niya na like ako din yung language ng represent sa akong culture, yan na. Then, there are two main things when the issue of language beliefs is engaged. Usa is instrumentality and identity. So instrumentality, which languages have higher instrumental value as perceived by the speech community in terms of economic opportunities and administrative convenience. For example, ang English maganda ang dominant maganda language dyan sa ano kung paanay. Ang English makahawak o connect with other countries since ang English is considered as a universal language. Then, according to the, sa tanan, makakaroon ka na kailangan sa business, ang ilang English language, sa eskwelahan, ilang makapil ang medium of instruction or communication kay English. Then, ang ikadua is identity. So, which languages represent the speech community best? Like, for example, English speakers ka, ang ilang language na makarepresent sa ilang kay English. Sa ako po, Bisaya pa, ilang makarepresent nga language kay Bisaya. So, language beliefs on language educational outcomes. Language learners are also social agents who respond to social signals from the people in their linguistic environment, even if they are not aware of the choices they are making. Like, for example, a young child connects with the immediate caregiver's languages with safety and comfort. Like, di ba, caregivers, ang ilang language na i-use kay more like sa karma, makakita ko safety, nga na, so makitaan, kung makadawa or makitaan, kanang bata, nga na ilang more gamitin na language, makakuha sila ka perception na kanang, basta caregiver ka rin ka, kanang more soft ngayon, pagkatao ay wala ka sa tao, nga na. Then, another places, the language used by the powerful elites in the society are associated with social and economic capital. Like, kanang sa businesses, like, kanang adults, kanang mga businessman, nga ilang pagamitan nga language kay more like from business school, nga na. So, muna, makakuha ko kanang mga adults nga o business family, businessman na woman, ay imo doon ko ang nakay-high perception nga language na yung language. So, that's all.
So, hello everyone. Hello. The component that I am going to discuss right now is the language management. So, from the word management, from the word itself, manage, language management, it could be the manifestation of language and how it can be used properly within a specific context by studying the boundaries and the structure of every words that can be matter. So, kung ato po kumaon, management, kumaon na siya ang mga gusto na usaon na to paggamit sa in a right way, in a way na kanang dili bitaw ta makakaan, dili bitaw ta makahatag og conflict or misunderstanding sa ating mga kaistorya or sa mga diyon sa nato pag-handle or pag-organize sa atong language. So, for example, kung magpikistorya ng bata, dili ka dapat kanang mag-istorya ng bata, dili ka dapat kanang istorya nga kanang itong ang gagawin. Kaya magpikistorya ang utak sa bata is like a sponge na once imo sa dyan makatagal ng mga binuga, like mga tayo pa natira ng mga words, mga bad words, dalian ka na catch up sa bata. Kaya ang utak sa bata, yung ganito sa research na mura daw sponge na once imo makatagal ng idea or mga ganang information or knowledge, may mo na kuha nila, dalian na makatch up sa ilang utak. As well as makikisura ka mga figuang, hindi na pwede ka binugal sa ila. Dapat in a respect way. Respetado niya ako, respetado niya ako mga kamagi. Likewise sa kung paano, istorya ng teacher, hindi ka dapat kung sa itong pamaagi or sa pag-manage na to, sa pakikistorya sa itong mga classmates, dapat na-update, gab, or dapat natin ihatag na sa mga limitation nga dili ka magbugal-bugal sa atong mga teachers, sa atong mga mag-usap lang na sa atong mga references sa basong mga dapat pwede ko ka mo handle o organize sa atong mga instrument language na to para ma-present na to ang conflict or misunderstanding.
Type 1,
These are the words that we gather our terms. Number one, repertoire, polity, revitalization, hegemony, spouse, concessions, homogeneity, lobbying, amenable, elicitations. Repertoire, scope of languages that individuals are able to understand. Polity, the language within a particular community which involves decision and what language are used. Revitalization, efforts aimed at strengthening a language that is at risk. Hegemony specifies to the superiority of one language over others. Espouse, it is the act of advocating language policy. Concessions, provisions made by authorities regarding language issues. Homogeneity, the preservation of linguistic equality within a society. Lobbying, attempts by individuals to influence language. Amenable, the adaptability of a language policy to accommodate changes. And lastly, elicitations, methods used to gather information from individuals about language issues.
Okay, so by knowing the three components of language policy and its terms, now let's go to the insights. So in today's interconnected world, language policy plays a crucial part in our day-to-day communication. Language policy is a powerful tool that shapes how communities function and interact. When implemented thoughtfully, it can foster inclusion, strengthen cultural identity, and pave the way for a more prosperous and diverse society. So, kung buhay na mag language policy, mura mo sa Janet, kanang sasadya ka generalization as set of rules and regulations, especially sa language. Kunya, karon kay labi na kayo, we are living now in the modern world. So, very important sa adun na ko, wala pa kung kayo sa tatalan. Pinaabis sa language policy, nakatabang kasi ka ng mga rules and regulations sa language na kanabang, kumbaga, despite na depend ka sa lain na part sa kalusugan, lain ka o nakatunan ng mga language, mara kumbaga, ang language policy, mura si Jao, nag-serve as a bridge para ang kitang kanan is magka-interconnected ka kausa. Unya, napay din mo dire na once na ma-implement na ito sa thoughtfully, so dapat siya impact na to, na kita mga kanang mga katawan from different parts of the world, magka-interconnecta sa atong language despite ka, lain na nakatunan, lain na mga culture. So for the second paragraph, I'll give the floor to Ms. Shana Alba.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I will go on to continue about the overall insights of language policy. So, when we say language policy has made a significant impact in education. Through language policy, we understand how this policy supported every student's existing languages to improve their learning and practice. Additionally, we understand how language policy addressed the issues like illiteracy, providing us some resources to promote literacy programs in various languages. So when we say language policy, what I just suggested revolve around language because language policy, it contains not just language but also ideas and intentions. So language policy, napodyo ni sila tabang, special education, but also not just education also sa mga students. So for example, kita nga, sa college students, mo inopinay ka sa different institution, for example, sa Kanagawas, sa Manila, sa Cebu, sa institution. Sa ilang culture, as well as ng background, as well as po sa ilang sinurtihan, makuha na ito nila, ma-adapt na ito ilang mga languages, different languages sa ilang culture ito. So, by that, hindi ka na maka-learn ko sa ilang language, not just kay di ba dito sa gawas, di ba siya ka maka-learn na dito po sa ilang language ra, maka-learn ko sila na sa meaning na, sa terms niya na, di ba? So, that's it.
Okay, so for the last part of our insights, so I'll be the one to continue discussing. So, to sum up naman sa among insights, like based na po sa example sa kauban na reporter, so, akin lang magpumagi sa mga kalaban na language policy, like, from the meaning itself na based sila sa mga regulations or mga rules, like, lagi na nalagay mo, for example, as a college student, yung may enroll ka online lugar, ito sa na-explainahan. Dapat yung may kalahian sa ilang language. Pinaagi sa language policy, mura bitaw ka na, ano bang instead na katawan ka, kailangan mo sinupihan, may isa ila, ano yung mga Bisaya ko sila kung may kalahian. Instead na mo like katawan ka, pinaagi sa rules and regulations na implement sa language policy. Kumbaga, instead na muna magkawalan kang self-confidence, mubus mo yung sa dyan na kaya mapagawas man yung uunsa ka, yung nagbalik, mapagawas mo yung balik, usa ka ka-diverse na pagkatao, nakita ka sa lugar, na ba. So to sum up, by learning and understanding the different facets of language policy and its potential impact. So one is in having sa language policy, we can create a community where every individual empowers their fellow citizens in their linguistic landscapes. Bisang paglain-lain ka, nandikan ka sa lain-lain lugar, lain-lain na tayo mga kalihan in terms of language, pero tungkol sa, tungkol sa mga rules and regulations na implement sa language policy, dili ka mawala self-confidence instead na lipus ang pag-ibig. So now we're done with the components, the terms, and the insights. So now let's proceed to the part 2 of our report. So now let's discuss the role of language as a global language, the role of English as a global language. So as English is a lingua franca, most of the native and non-native speakers of English are using English as their mode of communication in their business matters or business organization. So first, is let us define kung saan ang lingua franca. So like we say lingua franca, it refers to a language that is been commonly adapted to people whose native language is not English. So, example sa lingua franca, ako as a Filipino, specifically Bisaya ko, that I am talking to Japanese. So, kami kumalain, di kami lain-lain na lugar. So obviously, lain-lain yung sabihan. So, if mag-storya yung duha, I cannot understand if we will use the Japanese. And he will not understand code if I will use Bisaya. So, pinaagi sa English, since English is a lingua franca man, so in order for us to understand, we will use English as our mode of communication. Kaya mo man, ang lingua franca, again, it means, once dyan, anong common language dyan, adapted na sa bisan asa na part. So, English has become the fastest increasing language in this modern world and occupies the status of a commercial language by connecting the East, West, North, and the South. So, kung kaya ang English na din, kung rangka mo na nila sila, adapted na sila sa gasa, nagamit ako na natin sila when it comes to like, kanang pakikipag-communicate sa ubang mga tao o balik, kita Philippines, for example, economy, lagi na kaya kita Philippines, hindi na dyan talaga makastan along na ta. So, we need help from other countries. So, pinaagi sa other countries, communicate nila. In a sense, the other countries cannot understand our own language, so we will use English as our mode of communication to interconnect with them. So, next is, English language is spread all over the world into almost all of the fields such as science, engineering and technology, medicine, trade and commerce, scientific research, education, tourism, internet, banking, business, advertising, film industry, transportation, pharmacy, and to name a few. So, very obvious sa kadyo, kung ang English ay very global naman siya, franca, adapted na siya kadyo. So, bisan kita mag-base sa other countries, mas nangyari sa Philippines, mabantasan dyan na ito nga, ang medium dyan na ito English, kaya sa kung mali naman sa eskwelahan, kasi na, mas kuwan pa dyan kadyo ng English, the way ka nang pamaagi na ito mag-discuss sa teachers, English code, atong mga activity, English code, na sa mga business code na ito, English code atong gamiton, although mo gamit pa o atong second language, I know, bukanit ang atong kaugaling language, pero when it comes to business, the English language na may gamiton. So, meaning sa isang asa na fields, very common to English. So, lastly, undoubtedly, English occupies a unique places as it is the language that is so extensively used and so first established as a dominant global language in the above mentioned fields. And and the dominance of English has become like a snowball that is too big to prevent. So, since ang English kayo, so parang naman siya, very common siya, like nagamit na siya bisan asa mga fields so, by education or outside sa school. So, ang English is like, di na dyan na siya mapugnan. Whether kung saan pa na nato, kung naman dyan ating naandan, muli naandan sa kataghanan, mas kitang Filipinos na dili ta native na speaker sa English, pero tungkol kayo muna tayo nagsugdan, naunhan pa. So, di na dyan na siya mapugnan, muna nila like a snowball that is too big to prevent.
Okay, so for the continuation of the topic of teaching earlier, so English is recognized as an official language in 67 independent and 27 autonomous countries around the world. It is also used in business life, as well as being the official language of several of the world's most important institutions, including the United Nations, the NATO, and the European Union. So, sa ganyan theme na English has become like a dominant dito sa group sa mga aspect like sa the aspect of medicine, sa technology and business. Like English like mga gamitan dito sa pag-communicate dyan kasi yung nga medium para like sila sa mga tao, since English has become known all over the world. Then, imagine, sabihin yun, English na recognized sa 67 independent countries, and among the 67 independent countries, apila sa Europe, like England, Ireland, Scotland, then sa Africa, South Africa, Nigeria, then in America, Canada, then sa Caribbean countries like Puerto Rico and Jamaica. Then sa 27 autonomous countries, apila diri ang sa USA, which is the non-sovereign countries. And it includes Bahamas, India, Pakistan, Philippines, Singapore, Brunei, or any part of Asia. Then, including like nagamit sa English language, many United Nations. And we already know ang United Nations dako sa jaog na sakupan, especially sa katong countries na na-colonize sa Philippines. So, katong countries na na-colonize sa America rather, naka-adapt na po sila sa English language. Then, kanin nato, this is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Then, dako po ni Saud na sakupan kay iba military alliance sa isda. And this includes like 32 countries, including Albania, Belgium, United Kingdom, Spain, US, Poland, or Norway. So that was the scope. Then, ang European Union po siya, atang diri ang 7 countries like Germany, France, Italy, Netherlands, Sweden, Greece, or Portugal. So, as in dakuan sila. Then, sa nag-research ko, kung unsa nga language ang kanang commonly used all around the world, sa 2024 na survey, nag-top 1 ang English. Kay sa katong survey ko from 1990s to 1990s, ang nanguna nga language is kanang Chinese Mandarin. Mo jud na jay commonly like top jud na siya sa una. Pero sa karon nga nag-alam nila nag-upgrade especially sa technology, social platforms, mga English jud ang common na language na gamiton para makakonekta even though na sa Philippines, but we can connect to the different countries or in foreign countries because of English language. Then, here are the 4 reasons why English is a global language today. So first is technology and science. So the origin of the internet in the USA paved the way for it to become a superpower in the world. English is widely used around the world in computers and all other technological equipment. So, like social platforms, especially Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So, mas as in the of percentage ang nagamit of English language. Then, for this reason, the English language is dominant in the world of science as well. So, especially in research, in experimentation, like ang mga scientists, commonly nila, in order for them to connect with other scientists, since English has become like dominant language nila ginagamit nila mode of communication, as medium for communication. Kung nag-English ilang gamit para mag-connect sila sa nagkalaylay na scientists all over the world. And especially kung sa kanilang pag-publish dito sa ilang mga na-experimentuhan. So since English mo lang yung dominant, so English mo lang ilang gamit. Then, since science and technology play a huge role in our lives today, it is not possible for English to lose its importance in the future. So baka yun na nga, siguro, if na yung mga language na, kaya nitong somehow nag-alam-alam na o gawa, pero ang English language, baka yun na nga, impossible siya na mahitabo bitaw, impossible ka adyo ang English mawagtag since mamalit sa ang nanuna karon ilan na kay powerful sa ka kay nagikan siya from Western countries diba? Okay, so now let's proceed to the second reason, which is the British Empire. So the first and most important reason for the spread of English is the British Empire. Before, nearly a quarter of the world was colonized by the British Empire, English was spoken only by the British. But when they started to trade, colonize, which places like Asia and Africa, they naturally started the spread of English. So, di ba kay Bang na kaning British Empire, dako ni sila nasakupan sa una. Kay, they are known sa, pag-colonize ko nila sa lalayong countries like Asia, nakadako sila nasakupan. So, mali dako sa impact. And then, one thing about the sa British Empire is, sa una, ang English language, sila na, sa ilaha na ako ng mostly naka-speak of language, but because they colonize other countries, mo nang known po ang English language sa lain countries. The next is the United States of America. So, especially sa World War I and World War II, we know nga, dako o gibanan na niya, dako o rule ang US. Kaya sa pagwagapon, same sa British na sa pag-colonize nila, yung spread o maadyo ang English language. Then the last one is the snowball effect. So just like sa diingon ni Tim earlier, na di na to ma-prevent bitaw na mo-spread ang English language since it's like a snowball. When we say snowball, for example, sa ice or snow, di ba, ang bola, kung ipalitin sa snow, mag-anak mo sa ang kadako, kaya kung mag-anak mo kabaga ang snow. So, ingana mo ng language. Samtang nagkaanak mo kadugay, ang English language po, nag-anak mo sa ang kadako, ang scope na nasakupan sa nagdaan. So, that's all.
So, good day everyone. I'm Ronald Fatimari Hamido, and I'm going to discuss about an Asian social linguistic situation. So, the number and types of languages spoken in a nation are essential components of the social linguistic situation. So, yan ang mga like languages like Filipino, English, Bisaya, essential jud sa like other region, like the Jews na pwede mabawang kay mapunay na national identity na to. So, some nations have a single official language, while others may have multiple official languages. For example, in Switzerland has 4 official languages, which are German, French, Italian, and Roman. While in South Korea, nandun sila yung sa mga language, yung South Korean, and in Japan, Japanese. So the linguistic diversity within the nation reflects the cultural richness and heritage of the people. Understanding the linguistic landscape helps in appreciating the linguistic diversity and promoting language preservation and revitalization efforts. So, for example, like, ang Bisaya, di ba, like, mag-flash talk, for example, di ba, no, ang Bisaya nga, grabe din sila mag-flash talk kaysa ako. Like, compare ang languages pa, like, ang Filipino, direct alo sa dyan, karang grabe o kumukuhan sa katawag. Ngayon, so, the number and characteristics of speaker for each language are integral to the social linguistic situation. The size of language communities, their distribution across different regions, and the demographics of speakers provide insights into the language technology. For example, based on the data from Ethnologue, from 2023, so ang nanguna din na language is English. Ang first language speakers ay 318 million, then ang second language speakers 1.77 billion. So nakabante ka nga, masyadong ang second language nga speakers sa English. For example, kita, most niya atong language may Englishman. So, masarap ka ang kanang second language way sa uban po nga nation like katong ganyan kasi ang mas gamay na sa English dito kasi ang ilang first language kay dili English kay mas more on like mas makuha na dito sa kanang economic nga kuan sa para ma-connect sa nations and English na gamay na nga kuan sa business. So ang second is Mandarin or like sa Chinese na sila. So ang first language speakers ay 939 million, while the second language speakers are 199 million. So the third one is Hindi, and the fourth one is Spanish, and the fifth one is French. So it is important to recognize and support linguistic communities to maintain their languages and ensure linguistic diversity. Thank you.
So, to continue the initial social linguistic situation, so the communicative value of each language within and outside community is another aspect of social linguistic situation. So, language serves as means of communication and expression for individuals and communities. So, the social linguistic situation considers the functional domains in which language are used, such as education, government, media, and commerce. So, languages with wider communicative value tend to have more resources and opportunities available for their speakers. So, while a language with limited lang siya na use, maka-face din sila mga challenges na maming-face natin. So, one example of the communicative value of language with a social linguistic situation can be seen in the context of Canada. For sa Canada, ang English and French nag-hold sila official language as status at the federal level. So reflecting the country's bilingual character, the communicative value of English and French in Canada extends beyond mere linguistic utility. It is deeply intertwined with historical, political, and terms. So, subjective perception about the importance of specific language also influence the social linguistic situation. So, these perceptions can vary among different languages, communities, social groups, and individuals. So, factors as historical, political, and socio-economic context nag-shape the perception sa attitudes towards different languages. So, ang language planning o policy decisions are often influenced by these subjective perceptions, which can impact language maintenance, promotion of marginalization. So, understanding sa annihilation of social linguistic and analyzing a nation's social linguistic situation is crucial for policymakers, sa education sa games, sa mga researchers. It helps in formulating effective language policies, designing inclusive educational programs, and promoting linguistic diversity. So, by recognizing this language spoken within the nation of valuing linguistic heritage of its people, societies can foster a more inclusive and mas culturally rich environment for nations different languages
An increasing interest in linguistic rights from the human and civil rights framework. Growing interest in language rights within the framework of civil and human rights. The last factor is the growing recognition of the need to respect people's and groups' rights to continue using their native tongues, as well as the growing interest in linguistic pluralism on a global scale, according to Spolsky in 2004. The United Nations Minorities Declaration in Europe and the 1996 International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights specifically acknowledge and safeguard the rights of individuals who fit into one of the designated categories. These rights are not yet fully realized in reality.
Now let us proceed to the scope of minority rights protection. So before we discuss the scope of minority rights protection, let us first know what is minority groups. So minority groups refers to the communities or population within society whose language is spoken by a smaller proportion of people compared to the dominant or majority language. So the scope of minority rights protection encompasses several key aspects. The first one is survival and existence. So it assures that the minority groups are able to exist and succeed within a society without facing threats to their cultural heritage and overall well-being. Next is promotion and protection of identity. This aspect focuses on recognizing and valuing diversity within society, also providing support and preservation of minority cultures and traditions. Next is equality and discrimination. Next equality and non-discrimination. Minority rights protection includes assuring that all individuals, regardless of their minority status, they are treated equally under the law and have access to the same opportunities. And the last one is effective and meaningful participation. It emphasizes the importance of allowing minority groups to actively participate in decision-making process where their voices are heard and respected. So in summary, the scope of minority rights protection aims to ensure that all individuals, regardless of their minority status, they are being treated equally and have a equal participation in society.
So, to continue the discussion, I am the one who discussed the national or ethnic ideology or claims of identity. So, national or ethnic ideology refers to the broader set of beliefs, values, and principles that a nation or ethnic group uses to define their identity and justify their interests. So, for example, mga si Jang Koan, kailangan ko sa example lang sa national ideology is pinakitong Koan every time na as Filipino at ng kasagaran na Koan ikaw tao, halili na to ang June 12, which is ang Independence Day. So sa kaya example ara ang paggamit nito nito sa every time na flag ceremony. O sana sa Japan, tingnan man ano to, mga Pilipino ka. So kitang tanan, whenever makadungog ka o ka ng tingog sa lupang hinirang or sa flag ceremony, mubarog kita to respect sa kung sa manang buhat ng Dr. Rizal para marami sa akong bansa. So, mga ang usap kailangan nito as a Filipino. So, when we say claims of identity, this refers to the specific ways in which individuals or groups express their belonging to a particular nation or ethnic community. So kung ang national or ethnic ideology refers sa broader, which is ang general na pagkakilanlan na to ang bilang sa Pilipino, ang claims of identity ko isa sa general specific way. So, for example, sa Bicol, mga Bicolano, usan sa timailahan nila is ang Bicol Express na ilang mga gusto sila mga ham, mga food, like sa ilang kuan. Another example sa Bacolod or Negros part of kanang kuan, kanang sa part of place nga. Every time nagkataw-taw na, mo halong kami daw. So, saan siya example na makikita, ay, Ilonggo. So, taga Negros or taga Bacolod. Kung saan na siya, matimailahan niya, part na siya sa kanyang lugar. So, makikita, Ilonggo. So, parang na to sa mga ang atong gigamit na kanang language is like Sinugbuan ng Bisaya. So, paano si Jammer? So, kung sa Ilonggo, sweet, pinalanay ang ilang gawin sila ng istorya, ang kita ko pinabunda. So, ano ginawa ko? Kasi sa mga kanang example. So, one is national ideology and claims of identity. So that's end our discussion. Thank you.